So this is Zach Polanski, the leader of the Green Party, who stands for quite literally everything that I hate.
The whole frame of the migration crisis is a racist, fascist frame.
When you don't have a valid argument, these are the tactics you have to resort to.
The answer is not to blame the migrants. The answer is not to point at the small boats. The answer is to point at the private jets, the private yachts, and to multimillionaires and billionaires.
Someone that claims to stand up for the most marginalised minorities in society, I would say that is the 0.5% of the population that pay 30% of the total tax in this country, while simultaneously being blamed for literally every single problem in society by people like this.
Are you going to work hard? Are you going to contribute to this country? And the answer, extraordinarily so when you look at data, is migrants are so much more likely to put money into our taxation system than they ever are to take out in social security and welfare.
This is such a cheap and manipulative argument because he's grouped several different types of migrants into one soup and allowed the dependents to ride the coattails of the hard-working, mostly European, Indian or Nigerian immigrants. I don't think anyone has an issue with the Portuguese family where the dad's an accountant, the mum works her socks off in the NHS, they came here legally, and they pay tax into our system. What he failed to mention though were the Somalians who, for example, have a less than 40% employment rate. 80% of Somalians living in London are in social housing, Pakistani and Bangladeshi populations which are overrepresented in social housing, the 50% of Afghanistanis who rely on benefits for the first 5 years they're here. And let's not forget those coming from wildly different cultures who would quite like to recreate that culture here. And this is where words like racism have to be used by people like this because they've got to silence this sort of conversation from happening, because the majority of Brits are not against immigration as a whole, they're against specific types of immigration.
We will build council houses, we will invest in our NHS.
But how are you going to pay for that? Because you're villainising the wealthy, and as you've already said yourself, they've got private jets and they've got private yachts, and they will just
We should want a country that people want to live here.
People like this seem to have some sort of bizarre fetish for the third world, and what they can never understand about people like me is that I like living in Great Britain because it's not the third world. And as the saying goes, import the third world, get the third world. When asked what he'd do about the 50,000 odd people that have come here illegally by small boat, this was his answer.
With the caveats you gave, I think anyone would be foolish to give any other answer than welcome to this country.
The caveats, just to make clear, were people being checked and agreeing to work. But the problem with people like this is that if one of those people woke up one morning with a bit of a headache, feeling a bit anxious, he'd probably think that they should be signed off sick for a year and get unlimited benefits. The most stupid part of his argument is that with a proper functioning immigration system, the whole point is that you can cherry pick from those applications the doctors, the nurses, the cleaners, whatever it is that this country needs, which he claims we need so desperately. And the whole problem is the moment you start accepting people by small boat, all of that goes by the wayside and you stop being able to cherry pick and you just get whoever happens to rock up on the shores. And final reminder, the only reason we need this immigration system the first time is because our benefit system is so weak that we just love paying work-shy Brits to sit at home doing absolutely nothing.